Hello friends, in this video we are going to learn about line drawing algorithm. To draw a line in computer graphics, we have different methods. The two important line drawing algorithms are digital differential analyzer DD algorithm and Bressenham algorithm. First, let's see DDA line drawing algorithm. DDA algorithm is the simplest line drawing algorithm. It is based on incremental method which calculate all intermediate points over the interval between start and end point. DDA algorithm takes unit interval either in x direction or in y direction and compute the corresponding values along the other coordinate. The unit interval select always along the coordinate of greatest change. For example, if the difference in x is equal to 15 and the difference in y is 10, then out of these two, the greatest change is occurring here in x. So we take unit interval along the x-axis and compute the steps next to y. Start the line drawing from the lower point and incrementally draw new points which are closer to the end point. Each point is calculated by adding a particular or same value to the previous point. Now let's understand DDA algorithm. Suppose in the problem given start end point whose coordinates are x1, y1 and end point with coordinate x2, y2. DDA algorithm involve the following steps. In the first step, we calculate difference of x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1. In next step, we check which difference is greater. Then we store the greatest changes value in a variable steps. If x2 minus x1 is greater, then its value assign in variable step. Otherwise, the value of y2 minus y1 will be assigned in variable step. In next step, we find del x by division of x2 minus x1, which we have already calculated in above step, and it divided by variable step. Next we calculate del y, which is equal to difference of y2 minus y1 divided by steps, and the value of start point x1 y1 assign in a new variable x and y. Now we use a loop with the values x and y. These two functions calculate the intermediate point between starting and end point. In the previous step repeated until we reach end point or equal to the step variable count. There are few advantages of DDA algorithm. First, it is a simplest method. It is easy to implement and it avoids using the multiplication operation, which is costly in term of time complexity. But there are also few limitations or disadvantages of DD algorithm, like there is an extra overhaul there is an extra overhead of using rounding of function. Rounding of function increase time complexity of the program. In DDA, generated lines are not smooth because of here we rounding the values by using rounding off function. That's why the point generated by this algorithm are not accurate. Now let's see an example based on DDA algorithm. Question is, draw a line between coordinate 3, 4 and 8, 10. So for this question, given that starting coordinate x1, y1 is 3, 4 and end coordinate is 8, 10. In step number 1, we calculate difference of x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1. By assigning the values of x2 x1 and y2 minus y1, we get x2 minus x1, that is 8 minus 3 is equal to 5, and y2 minus y1, that is 10 minus 4 is equal to, we check in which changes are greatest. x2 minus x1 is greater than y2 minus y1. The value of x2 minus x1 is 5 and the y2 minus y1 is 6. So the condition is false. That's why in variable step the value of y2 minus y1, that is 6, will be assigned in variable step. In the next step, we calculate two parameters, del x, which is calculated by x2 minus x1 divided by steps. Already we have calculated x2 minus x1 is 5 and the value of a step is 6. In DDA algorithm, we use rounding function and we take only integer part. So this is approximately assume 0. Next parameter is del y, which is calculated as y2 minus y1 divided by steps. The value of y2 minus y1 is 6 and also the value of step variable is 6. So we get del y 1. Now by the equations x is equal to x plus del y and y is equal to y plus del y, we calculate intermediate point between start point 3, 4 and 8, 10. Here x and y are the values of starting point. That is, x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 4. To calculate intermediate point, we can draw a table for x coordinate and for y coordinate. By assigning the values in the equation x is equal to x plus del x and y is equal to y plus del y, we get the values 3, 4, 3, 5, 4, 6, 5, 7, 6, 8, 7, 9 and 8, 10. As we know, the approach will be repeated till we reach endpoint or the number of steps. So here we have reached at endpoint, so the process will be stopped.